Obama's able to swing Wisconsin over into his court at this point. It's a pretty big. We still got Florida. That's the big state. You can see we're inching our way closer. It's an interesting situation where both sides have their moderate evangelicals card in hand. McCain's not sure that Obama does. Obama doesn't know at all. He forgot that both people have that same card. But I've got to decide on my next state. And what am I looking at? Well, I don't think there are any more Clinton voters, like I said. It's weird because we're holding the same demographic cards, basically, in a couple of ways. Because they're the ones that gave the better states. And I always have the fuck the small states strategy. I think Obama has a little bit too many demographic cards in general, but because they do become a burden on you fairly quickly. My hand is bigger, but not by a lot. I know that my cards aren't terribly good. Has North Carolina come out yet? Yeah. So I guess we've gotten everything out of that card. I'm kind of left with, I don't know what to put, but certainly not Florida yet. Washington, the CNN card. Afghan insurgency, affected state goes 1 towards defense. Well, Washington's the best state out there, so yeah. We'll let that happen. And now Obama gets a card. Holding on to the evangelicals still. Burning Clinton and a cranking bank since they're essentially the same as Yes We Can. And we'll pull Washington and Oregon down towards the economy. I've rolled some dice to randomize, who remembers whether or not those cards have come out. Both people... McCain remembers that Obama had that card and hasn't seen it used. And Obama hasn't seen that card, but he does remember that it's come out before. So neither player is willing to convert Iowa. Is it worth jumping another state? Probably not. I'll just keep drawing cards. And the original Mavericks. This wins McCain another state, in this case Washington, because he can flip the support of the minority and then shift the state. That's a really powerful card that I've seen come into play too many times already. And this gets close again. Washington's out of the bank. What do we want? Those evangelicals and then the Clinton voters are the other one that we share, and neither one of us really wants that. I'm outnumbered in cards slightly, but I have the edge here. I think we're not going to pull Florida yet. Given what we have in our hand, Minnesota does not seem like a bad choice. We're almost out at this point. And we draw another card. The affected state shifts 1 towards economy. Well, I'm going to make that Montana or Iowa because it doesn't hurt me to do that. Obama has an equivalent card, gain 1 supporting the minority issue in a single state and then shift it. Yeah. And we're fighting over Minnesota. It's one of the funny things, because I think the game often breaks down to choosing to go for just one of the 2 branches. Either always aim for military or always aim for economics. And for various reasons, McCain's better on the military side. Obama's better on the economic side. I'm not really sure how well you can hold up by going the other way in that, because if the other player is going in the same direction as you are, and he's stronger in that direction, don't you just lose? Yeah, maybe not. May depend upon the use of the uncommitted voters and stuff like that. But overall, it feels like you're kind of conceding the game if you do that, and that means that your deck is going to be constructed towards one or the other of those. And then really the big question becomes, hey, do you play around with the going negative? Maybe mix that in with going after the other guy's strong point. You might be able to beat him in those strengths. Here's the question. I know that we both have the card that can swing this if we're in the wrong place, which, yeah, we have it in our deck. I don't know whether or not McCain has it, but he just played Joe the Plumber to shift things up one. And one doesn't gain him anything. Of course, Minnesota's the most important state. I just picked something that can shift Minnesota back down deeper into the economy where it can't be taken with one card. However, I'm going to roll a die on this. I'm only going to give it on a 1 or 2 because the chances of McCain actually having that card are pretty low. So Obama chooses not to use that and draws another card, which means McCain is going to win Minnesota as well by converting and flipping up. And he takes the lead finally for the first time in the game. Get rid of some of these. Think about what that means, though. Because, again, I just blew my good card. I have crap in my hand now. Obama's got a lot of cards. It's going to have to be the worst of the states. There's only 2 states left, so Virginia it is. No way we're going to risk losing Florida at this point. And now we might want to build up a hand. But the thing is, Virginia's pretty good too. So Florida would win us the game. Florida would not win Obama the game. Don't know. Virginia isn't going to win anybody the game on its own. You'd have to get most of these other states, most of these other electoral points. Figuring out just how many is hard because of this kind of clever scoring system here. It's just not, you don't have a numerical total that you can just look at and quickly add up the values on the thing. I mean, you can look. Okay, so I'm at 250 is there, I guess, 49, 48, 47. I think I'm at 246, aiming for 270, 246. 259, 266. Yeah, it's going to have to be everything but Montana to win. If I want to take that. Whereas I can probably allow Virginia to fall and see where I go from there. Battery swap, but I forgot to draw this sucker. Our Palin rally's out of control. All undecided voters in the affected state become blue. Oh, this is horrible. Well, that's Montana that just got hit. Because Montana actually doesn't really affect the election at this point. These 3 are enough for McCain to win it, and Florida is enough for McCain to win it. For Obama to win, he has to take Florida and one of these. They're kind of playing it cool, although Obama did grab some more economic power in Virginia, but now he's down to 5 cards, and that's a problem. This one he needs to play. This one doesn't isn't something I want to play particularly, because that could swing Iowa. And remember, I need to take one of these states and Florida. If I take Virginia, then I can stop worrying about that. But as of right now, it doesn't matter. I could shift a space towards a region, but that could be useful in Florida. Crank and bank, discard, getting support for economy in each. This might be worthwhile. I'm going to play this. I'm going to discard the Catholics, which is now a useless card. I'm going to push Virginia down further, making it harder for McCain to get any of these states. So, he has to go for Florida, but whatever. A big handful of cards. I'm going to play the Puma card, which has no use anymore, in order to keep this huge hand for when Florida shows up. I don't think I have anything that's going to help me here right now, and unfortunately I have 5 cards. I could convert Iowa, I've been playing around with Montanas. I'll do that. Just because we don't really want to just give up those Iowa voters. No reason to do that. Changing the subject to shift Virginia up 2 spaces into the military. That's bad because I actually could have grabbed the win otherwise. So yes, we can's a possibility. I can't discard this. I don't want to discard this. This is a safer play. So I'm going to shift the state 1 space towards either issue. We'll send it this way. And we'll alter it to college graduates. We're familiar with each other's cards now, so we kind of know there's not going to be any shocks in there. That's something I don't really like, other than you can play the Game Changer card or whatever that you can, get a new card out of the deck for. And there's probably an equivalent maybe for Biden or whatever over in the Democratic side. Although I don't remember seeing one. But other than that, there's really not much you can shake things up with in the game. Once you kind of know the other person's deck, you know how to react against it, and it becomes very much just this kind of waiting game. Obama's built up quite a hand. He's got Virginia filled out on the economy, but he hasn't moved the issue marker down enough. He did it with the Oprah Palooza, which is another card that allows you to kind of shake things up a little bit, because you get a draw and something that you don't know what it's going to do. So it doesn't really affect your opponent much. They're probably planning on the same kind of stuff, but you get to increase your hand and do something that maybe, you didn't think you could do. He has invested a fair amount in Virginia with another play, but Obama has the change we need, which wins him big old Virginia. It really is looking like it's going to come down to Florida, and Florida alone. Boom, boom. Nothing else matters, which makes this card really important, and possibly this, because that gives you some control over what that card's going to do. We can actually pretty much ignore the other states, except insofar as, they allow me to play somewhere else instead. Now, Obama just won the state, which means it's going to be McCain's turn first, which is something of an advantage. Undecided voters become red voters. Well, that will be Florida. That's a nice jump. And now, if McCain had this still in his hands, he could win the game right away. But he doesn't have something, I think, that allows him to do that. He does. Gain a support and defense, and alter the key demographic. And we've got defense as the top there. Boom. McCain wins. And you don't even have to worry about those other states. don't get played out. I think the biggest part of it is in the construction of the initial deck. There's a little bit of luck involved in that, which allows you to kind of scramble the game up a little bit and make it a little more interesting. But it seems like there's at least one big, what looks like a false choice to me, which is hey, do you want to go for the economy or do you want to go for the military? One side is favored for one side's favored for the other. And choosing to go the middle road sounds like a losing proposition to me. I didn't try it. There are other choices, though, that are pretty damn important. Like McCain got to run away with just one of these in his hand. That was pretty potent, actually. The dirty tricks, or going negative, it's not really dirty tricks, but the going negative option. Those are powerful cards that can swing a state pretty hard. But after they swing that state, you may have a price to pay somewhere else, or maybe not. All right, let's send this up, and I don't really know how much. I'll try to distill my thoughts into a review, but it'll probably be pretty quick.